Christmas present for all you Sens fans, as Santa has made his way down the chimney of the Parliament buildings and has delivered 35 former Ottawa Senators, and for the very first time ever they will gather here on Parliament Hill in the very first Ottawa Senators Alumni Classic right here on Rogers TV. And it's been snowing for most of the day. We expect flurries through most of the evening. It's a minus 13 with winds coming from the northeast at 17 kilometers an hour. Welcome to downtown Ottawa, everyone. I'm Colin Zappi, and what a night of hockey we have planned here for you. The Ottawa Senators alumni have converged here at the Canada 150 rink on the east lawn of Parliament Hill, and it will be story time and good times throughout the evening. The memories will come flooding back, I'm sure, as you hear names like Boschman and Kite and Cunneyworth and Phillips and Alfredson, and we'll have it all here for you on Rogers TV. We will get to those player introductions in just a few minutes, but for now, let's throw it upstairs to the two guys who will be calling all of the action, Dan Mooney and Liam McGuire.
Colin, this is truly a celebration in that the Senators are celebrating their 25th anniversary in the National Hockey League. The league itself is celebrating their centenary, and of course Canada celebrating their 150th anniversary of Confederation. This is going to be fun, Liam.
Dan, it's going to be an absolute blast. We're right here at the base of the Peace Tower. Sens alumni, 35 of the greatest guys to ever wear the sweater in the last 25 years, as Colin just said. I can't wait. A little bit of snow, beautiful temperature. It's just going to be a fantastic night.
The one concern that the organizers have is the ice, and they're not going to lay too much water down because the snow will force the ice to pebble, and that could be more dangerous than anything.
We saw that a little bit earlier, Dan. We saw it bubbling a little bit after the floods and whatnot, but I think when the guys get out and they get skating around, the skates will actually help it, and it'll mold it a little bit, and they'll be fine out there. It's going to be great.
Colin, the wind may affect the kicking game tonight. I'm not sure.
Well, it may. In the snow, it doesn't look like it is going to stop at all, so that's something the players will have to contend with, but they've contended with worse, and this will bring them back to the roots for sure, as they were little minor hockey players. It's going to be a great night all around, and we are excited to get this going in just a few minutes. Right now, we'll throw it to a short video for your pleasure.
Classic memories of 25 years in the National Hockey League, and it's still sort of nice to harken back to the days when the Sens played at the Ottawa Civic Centre, and some really, really nice pictures. Putting this type of event together, Liam, has to be a logistical nightmare. What's involved in not first of all, just getting the players together, not necessarily having the venue.
Well, let's go back to your first question. Your first statement was security, and I don't think it's too ramped up here tonight, thankfully. We know what happened on July 1st. It was very difficult for people to get downtown. But I think getting the players here, Dan, from what I understand, they put out 60 invitations. We're able to get 35 guys. Some of the others would have been okay, whatever, if they needed to fill in or whatever. But they did pretty good, I think, in terms of getting the guys out. And you have some, Iverson came from overseas, Havlat, some of these guys. So it's turned out pretty good, and I think security hasn't been too significant tonight, that everybody's been able to get in and move around a little bit in this weather.
The next voice you'll hear is public address announcer John Trottier.
Duquel s'affronte l'équipe Chris Phillips et Daniel Alfredson. Fans, are you ready for Ottawa Senators hockey? We can't hear you. Are you ready for some Ottawa Senators hockey? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Ottawa Senators alumni. Gentlemen, let's welcome Team Phillips. Our first player made history by being the first and to date only legally deaf player in the National Hockey League. Jim lives in Chelsea, Quebec with his wife and 3 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, number 2, Jim Kite. He was a member of the Ottawa Senators from 1994 to 1999. Number 2, Lance Pitlick. Il a joué pour l'équipe en 92 et 93 au retour des Sénateurs dans la capitale nationale et atteint l'apogée de sa carrière en jouant 44 parties et cumulant 10 points. Mesdames et messieurs, le numéro 17, Rob Murphy. During his 407 career NHL games, he would play 266 of them as a member of your Ottawa Senators. Number 27, Janne Laukkanen. Originaire de Wawa en Ontario, il a compté 13 buts et obtenu 26 aides, soit 39 points dans l'uniforme des Sénateurs qu'il a enfilé de 96 à 98. Voici le numéro 28, Denis Labat. Born in Sault Ste. Marie, Dennis played for the Ottawa Senators from 1993 to 1998. Number 21, Denis Viard. During his 3 seasons with the Senators from 2002 to 2006, where he scored 39 goals and 63 assists, number 21, Brian Smolinski. Né ici, à Ottawa, il a joué pendant 3 saisons pour les Knights de London dans la Ligue nationale de hockey de l'Ontario et a joué dans les rangs des Sénateurs pendant les saisons 2002 et 2003. Mesdames et messieurs, voici le numéro 37, Brad Smythe. Drafted from the Czech Extraliga in the first round by the Ottawa Senators in 1999, Martin went on to play 5 seasons in Ottawa. Welcome back, number 9, Martin Havlat. This Canada native played junior hockey for the Canada Valley Lasers of the CJHL and got to play for his hometown Ottawa Senators from 2000 to 2004. He is currently a member of the TSN 1200 radio crew. Number 28, Todd White. Défenseur pour les Sénateurs entre 96 et 2001. Il a joué 757 parties dans la Ligue nationale en carrière, ce qui lui a permis de cumuler 42 buts et 621 minutes de punition. Accueillons chaleureusement le numéro 33, Jason York. Born in Scarborough, Ontario, he joined the Senators in 1996 between the pipes for the Ottawa Senators. During his 4 years with the Sens, he recorded 72 wins. Number 31, Ron Tucknard. Originaire de Repentigny au Québec, il a gardé les buts des Sénateurs pendant 2 saisons, en 2009-10 et en 10-11. Le numéro 33, Pascal Leclerc. He played for the Sens from 1996 to 2000 and again from 2002 to 2004. He is currently head coach of the Carleton University Ravens men's hockey team. Number 22, Sean Van Allen. À son arrivée dans l'équipe en 94, il a été nommé à la tête de l'équipe ainsi que devenu le 5e capitaine de l'histoire de la franchise. Il a ensuite évolué avec l'équipe de 94 à 98 en cumulant 36 buts et 59 aides, soit 95 points. Le numéro 7, Randy Cunneyworth. He scored his first NHL goal on his first shot against the Montreal Canadiens on October 5th, 1996. Ses années dans la Ligue nationale lui ont permis de jouer 1023 parties pendant lesquelles il a compté 109 buts, obtenu 348 aides et 666 minutes sur le banc de punition. Voici le numéro 6, number 6, Wade Redden. Drafted in the 6th round, 161st overall in the 1998 NHL entry draft by the Ottawa Senators, he played his entire NHL career with the Sens organization. During his career, Chris played 1,026 games and recorded 2,522 penalty minutes. After announcing his retirement yesterday, he's the newest member of the Senators Alumni. Ladies and gentlemen, number 25, Chris Neal. In 1996, he was drafted by the Senators with the 1st overall pick. On May 26, 2016, he would retire as the Senators' all-time games played leader with 1,179 games played. Please welcome back number 4, Chris Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Phillips. And now let's meet the Sens who will be playing, representing Team Alfredson. Not playing today, number 1, Damian Rhodes. Team Alfredson's second player recorded 3 goals and 23 assists with 26 points as a member of the Sens from 2000 to 2004. He played 1,033 games in the National Hockey League. Number 7, Curtis Lesishin. Il a joué 13 saisons dans la Ligue nationale, dont 2 avec les Sénateurs. Au terme de ses 136 parties avec l'équipe, il a compté 28 buts et obtenu 30 aides, soit 58 points. Voici le numéro 7, Rob Zamaner. This Ottawa native spent 4 years with the 67s before turning pro, and he was a member of the 28-29 Ottawa Senators. Number 9, Brendan Bell. During the Ottawa Senators' 1992-93 season, McIver led the team in scoring with 17 goals and 46 assists in 80 games. He is currently the assistant general manager of the Chicago Blackhawks. Number 22, Norm McIver. Né à la Chute au Québec, il a enfilé l'uniforme des Sénateurs de 2003 à 2007, ce qui lui a permis de compter 5 buts et d'obtenir 3 aides. En 2008, il a reçu le trophée de l'homme de l'année dans la Ligue nationale, la Ligue américaine. Voici le numéro 17, Denis Hamel. Dans l'uniforme des Sénateurs de 2008 à 2012, il a compté 14 buts et obtenu 102 aides, soit 116 points. Le numéro 7, number 17, Philip Kuba. This Ottawa native played for 9 different teams and was a member of the 2007-2008 Ottawa Senators. During his only season in Ottawa, Randy recorded 10 goals and 19 assists for 29 points. Please welcome back number 27, Randy Robitaille. This Swedish native was selected 119th overall in the 97 entry draft by the Ottawa Senators. He played in 393 games with the Sens and racked up 92 goals and 118 assists for 210 points. Number 20, le numéro 20, Magnus Arvidsson. Premier choix au repêchage en 1993 par les Sénateurs d'Ottawa. Sa première année avec l'équipe, il a compté, tenez-vous bien, 20 buts et 51 parties. Accueillons chaleureusement le numéro 91, Alexandre Day. Gardien de but pour les Sénateurs en 1999 et 2004, il était connu pour ses masques à thématique originale. Alors qu'il était dans l'uniforme de l'équipe, son masque montrant le personnage de bande dessinée Marvin le Martien. Il travaille désormais pour le réseau TVA en tant qu'analyste sportif, le numéro 40, Patrick Lalime. He began his career playing in the Slezin Opava in the Junior Czech League and was drafted by the Sens in 1994. That following September, he joined the Senators out of camp and remained with the team until 2004. Number 14, Radek Bach. In 1998, the Ottawa Senators drafted him 44th overall. He would record 167 goals and 181 for 348 points in his 11th season with the Senators before traded to the National Predators. Please welcome back number 12, Mike Fisher. He was the first ever pick of the Ottawa Senators in 1992 and would join the team in 1993, scoring 70 points in his rookie year. He was a member of the Sens from 1993 to 2001 and became the 6th captain in the team in 1998. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back number 19, Alexei Yashin. Le tout premier capitaine dans l'histoire moderne de vos Sénateurs. Il a cumulé 9 points. 9 buts et 16 points dans sa première saison d'équipe au retour de la franchise dans la capitale. Il préside maintenant l'Association des anciens sénateurs d'Ottawa, le numéro 16, number 16, Laurie Boschman. In his rookie season, he scored 26 goals and tallied 61 points to win the Calder Memorial Trophy as NHL Rookie of the Year. In 1999, he would be named the 7th captain of the Ottawa Senators. He would score many memorable goals, but no more than one against the Sabres in 2007. On December 29th, 2016, he would become the first Senators in modern history to have his number 11 retired by the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear you. Number 11, Daniel Alfredson. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we'd ask you to please rise, remove your hats, and join Krista Jane as she performs the national anthem. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous relever, retirer chapeau et casquette, et joignez-vous à Krista Jane pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God fatherland, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Wonderful opening ceremony here as the weather will not abate whatsoever, and nothing more fitting, Liam McGuire, than going out to the ODR and having it snow on you.
Why not? Why not? That's a little bit. It's just a skiff. It might affect a little bit of the passing, but other than and some shooting. But these guys aren't playing an NHL game anyway, per se. So I think it'll be fine. But I got to say, Dan, hearing the national anthem here tonight on this Friday night, the Peace Tower and the flag blowing up there like that, she did a fantastic job, by the way. That's pretty cool, man. I tell you right now, I'm pretty jacked up to be down here. This is very, very, very cool. Very cool. If anybody hasn't been down, make sure you get your butts down here. Either go for a skate or check it out at the very least. This is a slice of Canadiana. That is everything that we're about.
Speaking of slices of Canadiana, Chris Neal just retiring. There's number
Bonky.
14, Radek Bonk,
Yep.
in the International Hockey League as a 17-year-old. Won the Most Valuable Player Award and top rookie, and then came to Ottawa the next year. And remember, just getting off the plane, he scrimmaged with the Sens, and he used borrowed equipment and scored 4 goals in one scrimmage,
Yeah.
and then got 3 the rest of the season.
And he had over 200 penalty minutes without one fight.
Denny Vial. Certainly 86 fights while with the Senators. And boy, in those early days, there wasn't a lot to cheer about, but Dennis Vial certainly provided enough to get the people out of their seats.
I gave him first star on February 28th, 1996 on the broadcast for his fight with Rob Ray at the what was then the Corral Center.
Okay.
I gave him first star of the game. There wasn't much happening with Buffalo, and he was outstanding that night in that fight.
Patrick Lalime gets the start for Team Alfredson, and Ron Tugnut, wearing his equipment from 1999, gets the start for Team Phillips.
Well, that was his best year. 1.79 goals against average. There was only 2 others better than that in 59 years in the NHL. Tony Esposito and Al Rollins. So a pretty special year that Tugger had in 99.
Philip Kuba sending that one across, and intercepted by Vial. Vial inside the zone. He's got Todd White with him, tries to drop it back to him, and Kuba knocks the puck away from his stick. Neal, hard shot with a one-timer, and Lalime slides over to make the save. One of the things that you'll find with these alumni games or the old-timer games, Liam, they don't really skate that hard, but they're so proficient still passing the puck. They move the puck instead of moving their bodies.
Well, it should be noted there was a game here at 4 o'clock this afternoon featuring the group of guys who basically comprise the Ottawa Senator alumni for the last 20-plus years. Johnny Barrett and those John Shabbat and all those guys. And I've remarked, I've done a ton of work with them. I've remarked for years to anybody who get a chance to watch them play or who's had the chance to play against them, is watch their skills. It's the passing. It's the passing. We're going to see a lot of that tonight for sure, no doubt.
McIver down for Arvidsson, comes back to the point. Boschman couldn't keep it inside the zone. So Team Alfredson will be forced to tag up, but they're dispensing with that right now.
Yeah, I think there's not going to be a lot of tagging. Some net hanging going on here. Here we go. Well, Smitty couldn't get it over.
Brad Smith in the corner. Pass behind Pitlick, and Team Phillips has to go all the way back inside their own zone. Jason York, the new owner of the Kempville 73s in the Central Canada Hockey League, bought it from his goalie tonight, Ron Tugnut.
I know. Keeping it in the family.
Out in front,
There
they
we go.
score! Alex Hondag opens the scoring.
Well, it's great to have Alexander Daig back, obviously. Somewhat maligned during the end of his time here, but came in with such fanfare and drafted first overall in '93. And you know, at the end of the day, Dan, he didn't have a bad career. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Doug Wickenheiser, if you think about it. You know, went first overall in '80 and never lived up to the hype offensively, but ended up having a decent career. God rest his soul. Doug's no longer with us, but that was a nice play by Daig in front to bang that one in.
Yashin inside the zone, centered it out in front, and Daig almost had his second. Denny Lambert with the long lead pass. In deep for Rob Murphy, wearing number 17. Rob Murphy, sort of an Ottawa product, Gatineau.
Elmer, Quebec, baby, in the shadows of the British Hotel, for anybody who ever slid over to 77 Rue Principal. Dan, I might have had a quart or two there myself back in the day.
And Chris Phillips with a camera on his helmet, looking
that's
a little
GoPro,
like,
right? Is that what that is?
That is a different kind of camera. He looks a little like Cindy Lou Who. I don't.
What the hell it is? I don't know.
It is a camera, and Mike Fisher sends it in, skates around. Wade Redden centered that one, and nobody could handle it. Back to the point, Curtis Lesician shot right on, and that one steered away.
Those Bonk, Fisher, and Alfredson. How about that, Dan? Hey, with McIver and Cunnyworth.
There's Chris Neal. Back to the point. Randy Cunnyworth sent that one toward the net, and Lesician intervened. 4 former captains in this game. Here's another opportunity. Fisher in tight, too tight, couldn't make a play, and Cunnyworth sends Chris Neal with a 2-on-1 with Denny Vial. A 4-on-1, drops it back into the slot. Cunnyworth on the backhand, and he didn't get it through.
Vial and Chris Neal with 330 fights between them, Dan.
Wow.
On a 2-on-1, but somehow he didn't complete it.
Over 2,200 penalty minutes for Chris Neal. And
over 2,500. He's got the NHL record now. He beat Ken Danico by 6 minutes for the most penalty minutes by one player on one team and one team only in NHL history. Chris Neal, 2,522 minutes.
Centered it out in front, shot right on. Havlat couldn't get that one past the Leam.
He spears him. Havlat up to the old tricks. Probably be a bite later, I guess, then.
Patrick Lalime at the other end. We mentioned Tugnut wearing his 1999 equipment. Look at the pads and how low they are up on his leg. Patrick Lalime is wearing the same equipment that he wore as an Ottawa Senator, including that Marvin the Martian mask.
Well, he had a great run here. You know, it ended sour in 04 with Game 7 against the Leafs, but he holds the Senator records, you know, for goaltenders. For
most wins in a season, yeah. 39.
And most wins in the playoffs.
Zaminer, the pass behind Daig.
Well, they were going to call that offside.
Bill McCreary, one of the officials in this one. Here's Rob Murphy. Being forced wide by Kuba, centering pass, no shot on goal, and back the other way.
I don't know about that 10-8 game, Dan, that Chris Phillips is predicting.
Here's Hamel. Hamel in tight. Daig tried to filter that one through the crease. Kuba. Near side for Rob Zaminer, member of the 1998 Olympic team.
Yeah. Scored a big goal. Gretzky got the assist on it.
Loose puck in front, scooped up by Yanni Laukkonen, who sends Denny Lambert, another fan favorite in the early years. Shot right on. Lalime gloves it down and plays it back for Philip Kuba.
Denny Lambert was a warrior, as we well know. Anyone who remembers him here in Ottawa. Wawa, Ontario boy, him and Chris Simon.
Former coach in the Ontario Hockey League with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and had a little stint in Gatineau a year ago as well.
Yeah, great guy.
4 former captains in the lineup. Laurie Boschman, Randy Cunnyworth, Alexei Yashin, and Daniel Alfredson. And 2 #1 overall picks in this game as well.
And there's a nice cheer for Yashin right there, Dan, and that's great to see. You know, that whole thing had its own life to it, as we all well know. It was 15, 16 years ago, and great for the crowd just to acknowledge them there with a real nice cheer.
Brendan Bell moves that up.
3-on-1.
Here's Yashin for Degg. Degg for Robitaille. Robitaille couldn't find Degg with the return feed.
Shoot it. Jeez, come on.
Wade Redden, best first pass in the NHL for 10 years.
Yeah. Just ask everybody in Ottawa. Pretty good run in junior. A couple of gold medals, World Juniors.
Indeed.
Second
Yashin
overall,
coming back.
5.
Here's Bonk going toward the net. Tugnut. Easy kick save, and the rebound cleared up for Cunningham. Up the middle for Chris Neal. Neal inside the zone. Neal moves in, fired it, and Lalim got a piece of that.
That thing was all in butt too, man. He got some good wood on that.
Well, in speaking with Daniel Alfredson last night at the skate at the Canadian Tire Center, I'll get to that story in a moment. Let's go down to ice level. Here's Colin Zappian.
Well, thanks very much, Dan. And we're here with Laurie Boschman, the first ever captain of the Ottawa Senators and an original member. I want to take you back to October 8th, 1992, the first game. What was that like getting ready, and what was the buzz like in the city? Do you remember?
Well, it was really actually the people in the community were coming to Ottawa, and of course they would like to have a team. Like I said, against Montreal, the first so it's a great way to start.
Well, thanks very much, Laurie, for doing this, and we're going to throw it back to Dan up in the booth.
Thanks very much, Colin. The shovelers are out in full force, and boy, they got almost as many shovelers as they have players in this game.
I don't remember that in our ODRs, Danny.
No, it was us doing the shoveling.
Whoever lost, right? You played the game, and if you lost, the losing team would have to shovel. So I have memories, boy, outdoors playing on the Cars Road growing up. If you got the early thaw, it would freeze over sometimes. You go to the back field, and the ice would be just perfect. You'd carry the nets back, 8 or 10 of us maybe. We always had hockey on Saturday. You'd come back, everybody come over with their skates and stick, and you'd go back and you'd just play for hours back there in the fields on the ice. It was just the best, absolute best.
And they made short work of that snow as well.
Well, it was like 30 of them.
Yes, there are. And they're going to be doing that quite often this evening as the snow continues to fall. There was an 80% chance of some level of precipitation, more than likely snow. Many thought it might be too cold for it to snow, but not tonight. And it doesn't really matter because there's a great crowd out here for this one tonight.
Huge, huge crowd. This entire stand's in front of us is full. Across the way, look, Dan, how far back that goes to the screen. And then you pointed out, because I didn't even notice, they're standing up top there, too.
They're standing in the gallery of the House of Commons.
They're standing in the gallery, yeah. First time they've stood up there.
Great crowd. Great crowd, and so fitting on a wonderful Friday night on a weekend that is just wonderful for hockey fans and for the Ottawa Senators organization, too, with the outdoor game tomorrow against the Montreal Canadiens. And then, of course, the Ottawa 67s and the Gatineau Ole Pick playing an outdoor game, and it actually counts in the standings.
Yes, it does, just like the one at TD plays tomorrow. And you touched on it in the opening, Dan. All the anniversaries, culminating with Canada's 150th here. We're here at the nation's capital. We're at the base of the Peace Tower. It's a hockey game. It's the local NHL team. 35 guys. It's pretty special, man.
Face off to the right of Patrick Lalim, and he's going to go all the way for Team Alfredson tonight. Damian Rhodes was scheduled to play in this one as well, but apparently suffering from some back issues, so he won't be. He's here, but he won't be in the lineup at any point in this hockey game. Martin Havlat, low shot from the top of the slot, didn't miss by much. And here's Daniel Alfredson.
Nice pass.
Long lead pass for Fisher. Fisher moves in, looking top corner, and Tugnut had some words for him on the way by.
And Tugger doesn't normally play nets, right, anymore in the alumni events. He plays out. So this is pretty rare, folks, for anybody watching or is going to watch this on tape later or whatever. He doesn't do this very often anymore.
All kinds of special things for these players, and it's the kind of event that you want to come back and just reminisce with the guys, and that's the big draw, isn't it, Liam? The fact that getting together with all of these former friends that you haven't seen for a long time, and a lot of them live in different countries now, and it just affords these guys an opportunity to catch up.
I'm going to hazard a guess that there was a lot of them together somewhere last night. Maybe Big Rig or someplace else. I don't know, Chris, but I'm sure a bunch of them probably got together for that very reason, Dan. Some of them wouldn't have seen each other for quite a period of time.
Rob Murphy up the left wing boards, drops it for Denny Lambert. Can't get the shot away as Rob Zaminer got his stick in the way. Back to the point. And it's stolen there. Jason York gave it up. And here's a break for the team Alfredson as Arvidsson sends that one high and wide. Trickles through. And Pascal Leclerc in goal now for Team Phillips as Yanni Laukinen gets the puck up for Lambert. His pass broken up by Arvidsson, and he sends Denis Hamel on his way,
Nice
and then a shot on goal by Rob Zaminer.
Magnus Arvidsson breaking up that pass, Dan. That's what he was known for. He was runner-up for the Frank Selke in 1999 to Yuri Lettinen, who won it one of his 4 times.
Here's Chris Neal. Back for Redden. Redden toward the goal. Shot right on. Loose puck. And the rebound cleared away. In talking to Alfredson last night at the skate, he said before they drafted each other's teams, he was going for the youth movement, looking at trying to get Chris Neal and Mike Fisher. He got one of them.
Well, Nealer's flying out there right now. I mean, this is what you would call good non-contact effort at the moment. He went pretty hard on that shift there and tried to create something for sure. Look, at the end of the day, these guys are going to at least want to get on the scoreboard, if not win the game. It's rather low scoring at this point, but I think partly, Dan, because there's a lot of youth out here compared to typical alumni events. To be honest with you, I work a ton of them, and this is a younger crowd.
1-0 on a goal by Alexander Daigle. Here in this Alumni Classic from Parliament Hill. Dan Mooney, Liam McGuire, Colin Zappia, and our entire Rogers TV crew so pleased to have you along for the ride.
Look at that passing. Like Smitty was just in the pros a couple of years ago with Denver, right? The Central Hockey League. I mean, that's not that long ago. If he lets a shot go, boy, he can really fire it still. 68 goals in 1996 for the Carolina Monarchs in the American Hockey League. That's the second most ever in one season. And the American Hockey League's been around since 1933. I mean, that's a spectacular stat. There at number 37, Brad Smith, going on your screen right now.
Smith drops it. Cunningworth slapper kicked away by Lalive.
Oh, here we go. They're taking the slap shots. That means you're picking it up, baby.
Robitaille as Yashin finds Daigle in the slot. Shot blocker stopped by Leclerc. A lot of pride here for these players as well.
Well, Dan, what do you think? The pace has picked up. Do you not say? Would you not say?
Indeed.
The pace has picked up here.
Robitaille finding Radek Bonk. Bonk back for Robitaille on the off wing. Couldn't get the shot away.
He needed the shooter. That's 2 now. It's 2 he's passed off. Got to fire that, Randy.
John Van Allen, the interim head coach of the Carleton University Ravens inside. Havlat, they score! No! Did it go in? No! They're waving it off. It hit the goalpost and slid back under Patrick Lalime.
Boy, do we get a replay?
Let's hope.
It's under review, yeah. We're going to see. Is this there,
right off the post.
Oh, my goodness.
And Van Allen left shaking his head.
Wow, great job on the replay there, guys. Thank you in the truck for that. That was awesome.
Back to the point. Jim Kite lost it, and Alfie on his way. Daniel Alfredson winds up, fires that one, and Leclerc plays that off the blocker.
He absolutely wired it. That looked like his 400th in OT against Calgary, you remember?
Center pass, Fisher scores!
Alfie absolutely walks on it. It was beautiful. This is what you want to see. This is exactly what you want to see. How many times I did Montreal Canadian alumni, and you're praying to God the Fleur's going to walk on it like that. You know, and what he'd do is he'd come in and he'd shoot at the corner on purpose. Bang it off the boards for the kids, you know. That was awesome. He absolutely walked on that.
Alfie gets the assist on Mike Fisher's goal, and boy, there will always be synonymous with hockey in the nation's capital, in the same light as Fred Cyclone Taylor and King Clancy, for that matter. Alfredson and Mike Fisher will always be part of the Ottawa hockey vernacular.
The guys back in the day, there's 11 bangers hanging at the CTC, right? They're from those Stanley Cup wins from 1902-03 right to 1927. That you can never take that away. They created their own history, but it's 100 years ago, you know. And what these guys have done in the last quarter century has really helped continue to put Ottawa on the hockey map. Yeah, 2 trips to the semis, or 3 now, and 1 trip to the finals. But you know what? That's what it is for a lot of teams these days. So you take your successes where they can, because look, you've got trophy winners out here. As you said, you've got, you know, we've got guys who played in Stanley Cup finals, had their names on Stanley Cups. It's this is pretty special nonetheless from an Ottawa perspective.
We'll see this quite often, and you won't see them put too much water on during the intermission as well. 4 inches of ice on this surface here on the east lawn of Parliament Hill. When you go into permanent buildings, there's 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches worth of ice.
Yeah.
But the situation here with this temporary surface has to be 4 inches, because the water has to go over the pipes that are laid down to keep the ice cold.
Now, Dan, I just want to point something out. So Leclerc came out of the net, and he went right up to Alfie and had a little chat. And Chris Neal was there too. I'm not kidding you. I think he may have said, "Hey, come on." 'Cause Alfie absolutely wired that. Like, he walked it. And I think Leclerc may have just said something to him.
Easy, buddy.
I'm not kidding you. I think he did. I watched it. He went right out and said a little something, and Nealer did too. And Alfie just laughed and said, "Next one's at your head." Hey, the good news is Leclerc doesn't appear to be showing any signs of injury.
No, and he's actually pretty keen to get this game going again.
No, he did come out and say something to Alfie, so I don't know whether he said, "Come on, what are you doing?" I mean, he was about 26 feet out, and he just absolutely wired that one.
Lalim had to face one of those as well.
Brad Marsh used to run the SO challenges there at the Corral Center. Did it for 3 or 4 years, and some of the guys were just right out of the NHL. Do you remember Brent Fedek?
I do.
On the Crazy Eights of the Flyers?
Yep.
He started taking slap shots, and guys lost their minds, and it got really, really crazy, and there was almost a fight. Almost a couple of fights. Larry Playfair, of all people, is on the ice. Like, you know, sometimes these guys can still get competitive, you know.
I think of Larry Playfair when he was the head coach of the Calgary Flames, going ballistic, ripping his coat off.
That's his brother.
Oh, that's right.
That's Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah, that was in the minors where he did that. That's a good one to YouTube, folks. It's some good night entertainment for you there. It's only a few minutes long, but it's pretty classic. That's his brother, Jimmy. Larry's one tough dude, boy. He's probably heavyweight champ there for a year or two in the NHL. No doubt about it.
Laukkonen held up along the wall. Neal trying to jar the puck loose. Alfredson in there as well. Fisher comes up with the puck. Tried to feed it across for Boschman, and a good defensive play by Jason York. Back out into the slot, they score! Laurie Boschman, 3-0 Alfredson.
Captain to captain. Captain to captain. Laurie Boschman on one of the greatest junior lines in junior history with Allison Prop and Brandon Weekings.
Alfie with a couple of helpers tonight.
That was a great play to pull away from Danny Lambert by Alfie, who was actually Lambert was trying to hook him. And then he fed Bosch. Captain to captain there. That's awesome. Laurie Boschman won a 6 Winnipeg Jets to have a 30-goal season in 1985-86. That's an NHL record. It's going to be a penalty.
And it's going to Team Alfredson for tripping, so Chris Phillips.
Yeah, it's a penalty shot.
So now Patrick Lalime.
And Neal's taking it.
Forced to make a stop here, and Chris Neal trying to get Chris Phillips' team on the board.
Didn't go
Great
in.
stop.
Wow, what a save.
Double pad stacked by Patrick Lalime, and the puck goes awry. And Chris Neal left shaking his head.
That was a great save. There comes in, goes to the backhand, tries to go upstairs. Did he get it with the pad, Danny?
I think he did.
Yeah. Hard to tell with snow. It's snowing a little harder than I thought it was going to.
Especially from that angle. When you get right down at ice level, the perspective is so much different.
Yeah.
Chris Phillips took the camera off of his helmet.
Yeah, that had to be a distraction. We're going to see Black try and dial this up, I would think, a little bit.
3-on-2. Cunneyworth fed that across. Redden didn't get his stick down. Arvidsson along the board sends it in. Dennis Vial in the corner trying to spin away from Magnus Arvidsson. Cunneyworth spins it out for Redden. Redden throws it right along the ice into the skates of Curtis Lasician. And Team Alfredson goes back the other way. Denis Hamel unable to make a play. Number 17 in white. An Ottawa resident stayed, made a life here in the nation's capital with his bride Julie. They are very active in a group called Special Hockey Heroes, which provides the hockey experience for intellectually underdeveloped or handicapped people who wouldn't otherwise get an opportunity to play hockey, and run by a great group of people led by Jeff Kelly, a former Ottawa police officer, and they do such great work. Here's Sean Van Allen at the blue line.
Much like the Condors program that, of course, most recently departed Kyle Turris was part of, and Matt Karkner from Winchester, Ontario. Similar type of stuff. And Denny Hamel, first number 45 in Senator history, but he's out there wearing 17 as well, Dan, just like Murph. That wasn't his number either.
Randy Robitaille dropped it for Yashin. Gets it lost in his skates. Sean Van Allen for Martin Havlat. Great wheels.
Mach 9. Yeah, he could fly. Had some success internationally as well. Back-to-back years. World Junior 2000 gold and World Championship 2001 gold. Czech Republic.
There's Robitaille once again with another opportunity. Feeds it across. Didn't take the shot. Centering pass. McIver into the glove of Pascal Leclerc. Norm McIver has gone on to a very successful career. 3 Stanley Cups with the Chicago Blackhawks as a member of the management team.
Yeah, great to see. Great to see. We didn't have Norm here much, but he left his mark forever as the first ever scoring leader of the team, and played University of Minnesota with Brett Hull, and among others, Ottawa native Wayne Smith may be watching tonight. He was on that team as well.
Neal hits the goal post. Jason York into the slot. Neal. Oh! And a little hit as Mike Fisher faces the wrath of number 25.
Better hope Carey's not here. Could be held to pay for that.
Lysician plays that one off a stick over the glass and off the mesh. What a facility here. Everything that you need for an evening like this is in place, and all part of the Canada 150 celebrations. As the first period ends, 3-0 for Team Daniel Alfredson. Chris Phillips predicted a 10-8 final, and we're on our way, Liam.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll tell you what. I think that the effort has been a little bit more than they were probably expecting all the way across. It's been great.
We'll take a break and be back to Parliament Hill. You're watching the Ottawa Senators Alumni Classic, only on Rogers TV.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Play 4 games of bingo from the comfort of your own home each Monday at 7 p.m. for your chance to win money from our $2,000 regular bingo or $5,000 super bingo night. Kiwanis TV Bingo, Mondays at 7 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Uninterrupted coverage of speeches from Ottawa's business leaders, visionaries, and social figures. Watch new episodes of Podium at its new time, Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m., exclusively on Rogers TV.
My name is Murray Chronic, and I've been volunteering with Rogers TV for about a year. Most important thing about volunteering is being reliable and showing up and doing the best you can and learning every time you're there. The favorite thing about volunteering is the team aspect. I've said before that television production is just like actually being on the field or on the ice. We're as much of a team as the actual sports teams are.
Good ball! Absolutely brilliant delivery, but that tour gets to you. Under the lights, we forget it. Touchdown, FAU! There's been some talk about this, and it's going to materialize here. Chmielewski, shot scores! Shot scores! What a shot!
67's action on Rogers TV.
Well, welcome back here to Parliament Hill. It is 3-0 for Team Alfredson as they take the lead after the first period. Well, it wasn't too long ago that Matt Duchesne was traded to Ottawa, and that trade took him away from his favorite childhood team and also the only city he's called home in his 9-year NHL career. But what it did do, it brought him closer to his friends and family and the town in which he grew up and honed his skills to become the player he is today. Here's a little bit more about Matt and his hometown of Haliburton, Ontario.
You give me a boat and a lake and I'm happy. I don't need much more than that.
It's quiet up here. It's beautiful, eh?
The common denominator about up here is you can't get it out of your blood, especially in the summertime. When the summer comes around, it's this is where you want to be. It's an amazing place to be from, and I'm so excited to get here every summer.
He's the best goodwill ambassador that Haliburton's ever had.
Just our nature and growing up in a small town like this has always been to give back to the community.
Matt's charitable efforts have touched Haliburton in many ways, but the NHL star's biggest impact has come on the golf course. For 4 years, his charity tournament has raised funds, bringing much-needed equipment and a palliative care wing to the local hospital.
Oh, hells. That's beautiful. It's just all about having fun today, so we don't expect to be overly competitive, but we'll have a good time, that's for sure.
It was pretty key to make sure that the healthcare system was as good as it possibly could be in a small community, and I think we hit a home run. I think our hospitals are amazing for the population that we have.
I do whatever I can to support it. It's such a great cause, and it's just an honor to have something like that in my hometown, and it's kind of see your name on it. It's very special.
In the spring of 2013, neighboring Minden Hills was devastated by flooding, with many residents facing the prospect of losing their homes. Matt and another local hockey hero, Cody Hodgson, organized an impromptu tournament, raising over $120,000 for those affected.
It was unbelievable. There's water everywhere. You can't imagine it unless you are there.
It was hit hard, and there's those that lost their houses, and it got scary.
Around our house, keeping the water from rising was impossible because it actually came right up out of the river and over the road and through our yard.
It was devastating because people lost their homes, lost all their belongings in cases.
It's a very humbling experience to accept help from other people and to get to the point where you realize, like, oh my goodness, we can't do this, because if it hadn't been for the disaster relief, we wouldn't have a house otherwise, I don't think.
That's a gift that we're given as hockey players, to be able to have effects that extend way beyond what you even imagine. And the fact they could, like I said, help somebody get back into their house is unbelievable.
While the flood relief's financial impact was felt across the county, Matt also unknowingly made an emotional contribution that one father and daughter will never forget.
Good to see you. We've grown up a lot since I saw you last. Come down here, I'll give you a hug. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Do I get one?
Well, I'll give you a handshake.
I was just constantly getting picked on about my appearance, the way I looked, my size.
I had dropped Trista off to school, and we had been talking about strategies on how to deal with bullying and so on. And, later that night, I'd found out from her mom that, she was in the bathroom in tears at school. And as a parent, that's a hard thing. It's a hard pill to swallow, right? You want to go to the school and deal with it yourself, but you can't. And all you can do as a parent is to try to bring that light back.
In an effort to help Trista heal, Wade found himself in a bidding war at the tournament auction.
I called all the family and friends and said, hey, there's a Boston Bruins jersey. It's signed by the entire team that's up for auction. So, if you're going to give her $50 for her birthday, let's pool it together and try and win it for her.
He started to bid on it, and it started to go kind of beyond what he wanted.
And he just leaned over to me and he goes, don't worry, I got you covered.
I had no idea the situation. It was just something that, I wanted to do for Wade because he's been so good to me. He's been so good to our hometown here. So it was something that, I jumped in on, and fortunately it ended up being something really good for her.
It's awesome to see someone that's such a name, like Matt Duchesne. It's awesome just to see him go the extra mile to help his community and help the people within it.
I think the most important thing to understand is that Matt changes people's lives, and he doesn't even know he's doing it. And to me, that's the magic of Matt Duchesne.
True character of Matt Duchesne. It's 3-0 here at Parliament Hill. We'll continue on with our first intermission right after this break.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Hi, I'm Ian Taylor, Director of Hockey Development at Ontario Minor Hockey. Today we're going to talk about speed with the puck.
The most important thing to remember is to eliminate unnecessary stick handling and underhandle the puck. This is an open ice or breakaway technique where the player pushes the puck with one hand on the stick in order to skate at full speed. The puck should be out in front of the body and off to the side. Push the puck ahead on the backhand with the bottom edge of the stick blade. The stick hand extends at the elbow and pushes the puck forward. The hands stay out of the area in front of the hips, and this allows for long, powerful strides. Underhandling is a key skill to maintain speed and allows the player to keep their eyes up and to read the play around them.
Check out more Chalk Talk episodes on Rogers TV and more drills and resources at omha.net.
Very good.
What really triggered it was one of my friends who took his own life. I started self-medicating with alcohol. I couldn't sleep. I was having constant nightmares, waking up screaming. A friend of mine referred me to the Legion. I had no idea what services they provided, but that's what eventually forced me to seek the help, and I'm glad I did. It was the best thing that I ever did.
To Parliament Hill and the Senators alumni skating at Team Alfredson 3-0 over Team Phillips. We're happy now to be joined by Ottawa Senators General Manager Pierre Dorion. And Pierre, this has turned out to be such a fantastic event, and what a great start to this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think right from the get-go today, our team got a chance to practice at TD Place, and then coming here, having a few drills here on this ice, and then having a family skate. I thought it was just fantastic. I think the government has done a fantastic job celebrating the 150 years of Canada with this rink, and I don't think there's anything more Canadian tonight than playing hockey with a bit of snow and a cold weather.
And what a fitting way to end the celebrations for the Senators' 25th anniversary, and of course Canada 150. What was the buzz like in the main dressing room, and then when all the other guys came into town?
Well, the buzz has been outstanding so far. The guys today couldn't believe it, how good the ice was at TD Place, and then for all the guys that are from Canada, getting the chance to skate right on Parliament Hill was something pretty exciting, and everyone was taking a picture with the Peace Tower in the background, and then we had the family skate afterwards, and we had a lot of people out, and it was a great way for us to reset the button and hopefully get us a big win tomorrow.
For this game here, this is a different format. Usually it's the home team playing against the alumni of the visiting team in the outdoor classic, but this time it's Senators versus Senators, and I think it's such a great experience for the fans. Now we have 35 former Senators players. It's got to be a thrill for you guys to see all these former guys come back to town.
Yeah, I think I was 20 years old when the Senators first came here, and seeing all these guys playing today, it's great for organization. It shows that we respect our history and what these guys have contributed to the success of the Senators today. And you see the teams and how they were built. Alfie took a few more skilled guys, Philly took a few more harder guys, and them competing like this, and I think they're working hard, and they want to win. You can tell they want to win. At the same time, they're having a lot of fun.
Team played very well the other night at home. You've got a big game tomorrow evening against the Montreal Canadiens. What's their mindset like going in, and has the outdoor game kind of provided a little bit of a distraction for them?
Yeah, we think that the outdoor game has definitely provided a bit of distraction. We needed that big win the other night against New York, and we think that can be a time for us to reset and head back in the right direction. There's nothing like coming back home. We've been on the road for about a month, and it was time to come back home, and now we got some time a bit at home before we head out to Florida before the Christmas break, but we feel we're on the right path now.
We're getting set here for the second period. It got a little bit competitive there in the first period. I think Chris Neal is still in that playing mode. What are you expecting for the rest of the game here?
Oh, I'm expecting that Alfie will at least get a goal. He's not leaving here without getting a goal. I'm expecting that Vander will probably Sean Van Allen will be the hardest working guy on the ice, and I was really impressed by all the goaltending today. It was Patrick Lalline really played well so far in the first period, and I'm looking forward to the next two periods.
Well, speaking of goaltending, it's going to be interesting seeing Ron Tugnut playing with his gear that he used in 1999. Those smaller pads, how's he going to fare with all these hard shooters?
Yeah, I wish we could go back to those smaller size pads. I think it's one thing that as NHL general managers we're looking at. If we could ever find a way to shrink the goalie equipment, I think the game would be better for it.
Speaking of that, any other rule changes you might like to see?
No, let's just start by focusing on the goalie equipment. I think there's a few things we could do better with the offside moving forward, and we've discussed it at length at our last general managers meeting, and when we get together in March, we'll discuss it again. But shrinking the goalie equipment would be the biggest, I think is the biggest or best thing for the game moving forward.
Well, Pierre, thanks so much for doing this. It's a tremendous success, and we're all looking forward to the game as well tomorrow.
Yeah, we all are looking forward to the game tomorrow.
We'll send it up now back to Dan and Liam for the start of the second period.
Thank you so much, Colin. Those pads look like the ones I used to wear playing road hockey.
I got some of the older style gear there for sure, like you were saying with Tuggers from '99. But good points there by Pierre. The offside stuff has to change. It's absolutely ridiculous and asinine. Some of the goals have been called back. And the goalie pads, this is supposed to have happened 3-4 years ago, Dan, and they're still languishing and trying to effectively implement that. It's kind of a joke, really.
3-0 in this one. Team Alfredson in white. Ahead on goals by Alexandre Daigle, Mike Fisher, and Laurie Boschman.
Did you see that there? Fisher and Alfie just ganged up on Chris Neal, so I think his roughhousing tactics there in the first period got their attention. So, but here's a 2-on-1, and Team White's just got a little bit too much offense.
Fisher and Bonk slid across, and Leclerc steers it into the corner. Pascal Leclerc donning the toque over the mask a la José Theodore in the opening Winter Classic, the first ever.
November 22nd, 2004 at Edmonton. Montreal and Edmonton.
You think it's cold here. It was really cold there.
Made this look like summer. This really isn't cold at all, to be honest with you. A couple of shots of fireball. Hey, Danny, we're good, kid.
Chris Neal inside. Smolinski tried to get the tip. And Ron Tugnut wearing the dark jersey playing goal for Team Alfredson. Here's Magnus Arvidsson. Arvidsson out in front looking for Zamener, and the puck cleared away. Jason York feeds that up for Sean Van Allen. Van Allen trying to skate away from the biggest man out there on the ice, Philip Kuba.
He's a big boy. He's pretty good defenseman for Ottawa back in the day. Before Carlson led them in defensive scoring, Kuba did for 2 years, 2009, 2010.
Team Alfredson clearing the zone. Smolinski trying to spin away from Denny Hamel. Inside the zone. Smith out in front. Loose puck scooped up by Rob Zamener for Denny Hamel. Back for Zamener. Smolinski got a stick in the way of that one to break up the pass. Here's Hamel inside the zone. Alexandre Daigle out there now for Team Alfredson. And former captain of the Sens and former head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, Randy Cunnyworth out there. That's got to be close to your heart, Liam.
Oh, absolutely. I felt bad for Cunny. You know, he got absolutely ramrodded there because he can only say 4 words in French. And that's one of the most ridiculous things going, that if they can't hire the best talent available because they can't speak French, that team's going to have some problems.
Scotty Bowman never spoke a word of French.
Well, no, he could. He could. He could speak some French for sure. He's a Montreal native, and he was able to converse in it. The last real unilingual guy before Randy was Al McNeil. And look what happened to him.
Henri Richard.
Yeah. Worst coach I've ever played for. Henri Richard said about Al McNeil in 1971.
And they still won the Stanley Cup.
They still won the Cup.
Laukkanen for Chris Neal. Neal 1-on-4. Drops that back. Murphy in behind the goal for Neal. Rob Murphy wearing 17 tonight for Team Phillips. Wore number 18 during his 2 years with the Sens at the outset.
He's a Rookie of the Year winner in the International Hockey League and broke Cam Neely's nose in a fight.
Wow. Not many can say that.
No. He calls it a lucky shot. Maybe it was. Everybody has a puncher's chance, right, Danny?
Well, A blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
Rob Murphy's not a small man. You stand beside that guy. He's a good-sized guy, too. He wouldn't have had the same sort of width and weight as Cam Neely, but it would have been pretty much looking eye to eye. I remember that fight.
Yashin breaking out there. Here's Robitaille over the blue line. Robitaille for Daig, cutting in. Tried, and he scores! Alexandre Daig slid it between the wickets of Pascal Leclerc. 4-0 Team Alfredson.
Oh, boy. Wow, it's just a beautiful play. Beautiful play by Daig, going 5-hole in the backhand. We're going to look at it here right now. It just came in with a lot of speed. Oh, no, he flipped that upstairs. He flipped that up. I thought he went to the backhand. He did not. Thank you, guys. Great job on the replay again. And Daig's second day.
That's his second
of the game. The former first overall pick. He had a couple good years with the Minnesota Wild as well. You know, he was their Bill Masterton nominee one year.
3 seasons with a total of 51 points.
Yeah. You know, that gets you $6 million today.
McIver into the corner for Fisher. There's Daniel Alfredson. Sean Van Allen on a break. McIver coming back, 22 against 22 into the glove of Tucknut. Bonk sends Alfie in alone. Stopped by Leclerc.
Oh, it's a great save.
This time Fisher gets it past Leclerc. It's 5-0. Second goal of the night for Mike Fisher.
Boy, he snapped that upstairs in a hurry. Third point for Alfie, I think, Danny. Third assist. I mean, that's just a pro goal all the way. That wouldn't look out of place in today's game at all. The work down low, the pass, or the shot. I know Fisher's just out of the league, so what do you expect? That's my point, though. Is this is a young alumni event. You have a lot of guys here that are still in very good shape and can really skate.
A chance for Brian Smolinski.
Fire it.
Shot stopped by Tugnut. And Team Phillips has yet to get on the board. 14-18.
Oh, we all remember Tugger's night, March 21st, 1991.
70 shots. Loose puck, and they fire it in. Magnus Arvidsson picking up the garbage to the left of Pascal Leclerc. And Leclerc not going to be able to get his build past here on Parliament Hill. He's got no support whatsoever.
At the very least, they should probably consider doing something.
6-0.
Well, no one wants to be embarrassed, and this is heading down that road. I mean, there's just too much skill on Alfie's team.
Redden has it go through his skates. Smolinski came to Ottawa with a great deal of hype after hugely successful years in Los Angeles.
Yeah, yes, he did, and just never really did a lot offensively here. Played probably before the term was really used a lot. The 200-foot game. He was a decent 200-foot player at that time. Wasn't here very long either, right, Dan? What, 3 years?
Yeah.
So is what it is. Good of him to come back.
Indeed. Chris Neal. Arvidsson tries to ride him out of the play. Neal gets it in behind the goal for Rob Murphy.
Oh, you want to go at that goal.
Shot stopped by Tugnut. And you know, Tugnut is working really hard to make sure that nothing gets behind him.
Well, he hasn't been lax at all.
Robitaille. Boschman filtered that through, looked for Yashin.
Yeah.
And the pass behind him. Here's Rob Murphy. He was headed to the bench.
What do they call it? They're shoveling? They're going right on the clock for shoveling?
Yes, they are. We're going to take a break and be back to Parliament Hill. You're watching the Senators Alumni Classic.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Celebrate Ottawa is a collection of stories for, by, and about the people, places, and rich history that make Ottawa such a vibrant place to call home. Tune in Sunday evenings at 7:30.
There is going to be a war between brothers. A war that will make me the king of Connecticut.
This is my kingdom. You have so much to do, Saiva.
Of course I'm going to kill him!
We are the wrath of God. Vikings. All new Wednesday at 9 on History.
Busy, and Kim's not going to do it because he's busy too. My name's Ricardo Menendez. I got into policing because I wanted to try something new, something exciting.
Do we still have him on the line to update us of whether or not it's still physical at this time?
Gave it a chance. Guys, hey, listen, get over here. Started my career off with the RCMP out west. It just clicked at the end, and I've been doing this career since 2009.
Play 4 games of bingo from the comfort of your own home each Monday at 7 p.m. for your chance to win money from our $2,000 regular bingo or $5,000 super bingo night. Kiwanis TV Bingo, Mondays at 7 p.m. on Rogers TV.
All Team Alfredson so far in this Ottawa Senators Alumni Classic from Parliament Hill. Dan Mooney, Liam McGuire, Colin Zappia, and our entire Rogers TV crew. So pleased that you could join us for this one. 6-0 for Team Alfredson. Fisher with a couple, Dag with a couple, Laurie Boschman, and then Magnus Arvidsson.
It's the worst lead in hockey, Dan.
Yeah.
I smell a comeback. I don't know what Black's going to do. They don't have the foot speed to match. They've got some good players, but then you got Tugger back there who's looking like it's 91.
Shot stopped by Leclerc. Rebound cleared into the corner. Long lead pass, and Murphy's after it. Murphy working against 57-year-old Laurie Boschman.
They know each other so well. They're such good friends. Those guys have been big parts of the Sens alumni here for the last 8-10 years, you know. Oh, it's great to see.
Dag looking for the Hattie. Scores!
Oh, jeez. Man, he's got the hands going tonight. It's like he's back in Victoriaville, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Picks up a rolling puck, goes in, just swings Patty over and just backhand off the bar and in, man. Like just total NHL goal all the way.
Working in the film industry in Montreal, spent a couple of years in LA trying to do that as well, and made some contacts, and certainly a big smile on his face on the Team Alfredson bench, and rightfully so. He's got the hat trick, and Team Alfredson leads 7-0. Speaking of Alfredson, moving in. Tried to feed Fisher. Havlat gives that up.
Yeah, Marty could maybe do a little bit more. I'd stack a line right now is what I'd do, Danny. I would get Nealer and Havlat on the same line and get somebody else up there a little who can skate with them.
Lasician for Bonk. Bonk. Brendan Bell, one-timer. Little snapper that gave Patrick Lalime an opportunity to make the stop. Pascal Leclerc on the bench now. Loose puck out in front, and Tugnut rather daring in the crease.
The thing is, Danny, he's not playing any net. Like, I'm at most of the Sens alumni events. He plays out.
And Havlat finally gets one past Tugnut and Team Phillips on the board.
Coming over to congratulate him. Nice play, though. Threw it upstairs. Nice. Marty can score. Outweighted Tugger there and it got him upstairs. So they're on the board finally, Danny.
Nobody more excited than the members of Team Phillips finally getting on the board. And hey, a six-goal lead's easier to catch up than 7. And he's got a big smile on his face. And Havlat, you know, his career cut short because of several injuries, most notably to his shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a couple of good seasons after he left Ottawa with other teams, you know. He just
Chicago.
Yeah. San Jose.
Yep. Smolinski knocks the puck loose. Magnus Arvidsson playing out there without shoulder pads.
Oh, yeah. Used to see that back on the old Cars Aces. Kim O'Grady.
I don't need them. Most of those guys, even when they did play, they only wore caps anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a name from way back in a specific area. Where
the Cars Aces.
Cars Aces, yeah, they were a hell of an intermediate team. Willie Raza, Benji Chambers, Jimmy Banks.
Back when the Allen Cup was...
Ron McLean. Actually, they were under that level. Allen Cup was senior AAA. That was really, really good hockey. Not to say that the intermediate wasn't, but under the Allen Cup, you had the Hardy Cup, which is what Embrun won in 1976.
Yashin feeds Robitaille. Robitaille against Lalim tried to find a gap between the legs, and Smith comes back the other way.
Nice pass.
Hard pass in for Lambert and a blocker save on the shot from Denny Lambert by Tugnut.
There you go, picking it up a little bit here, Danny.
Nice move by Robitaille to get away from Denny Lambert. Finding Laurie Boschman for Randy Robitaille. Or make that Norm McIver.
That was about 4 feet offside.
Yashin. And back comes Chris Neal. He's got Cunneyworth with him. Neal moves in and backhanded it wide.
Well, Neal retiring yesterday and playing in this today. There's a guy who's left his mark on this city and on this franchise, that's for sure.
More than likely will have a position with the organization as well.
Absolutely. If he wants it, I'm sure they'll find something for him. And I'll tell you what, we'll never know now, but they don't put him in last year against the Rangers, take care of Tanner Glass. Who knows, right? It's a different series after Nealer got in.
Cunneyworth. Yeah, and just that one game, and it made a huge difference.
Yep. Took the extra misconduct for knocking Glass's bucket off, and Tanner wasn't heard from again.
Cunneyworth for Rob Murphy. Murphy working against another number 17, Philip Kuba. Cunneyworth back to the point. Havlat comes rink wide for Lance Pitlick. He goes down low. Cunneyworth, Pitlick toward the slot. Too far for Havlat. He gets it back, though, and sends it in deep. Cunneyworth behind the goal. Randy Cunneyworth. Former Ottawa 67.
Yeah, Gunner. Gunner, they called him back then. Randy Cunneyworth holds a pretty unique NHL record. Most time elapsed scoring for the same franchise, the Buffalo Sabres. 17 years between goals.
Wow.
And those unusual records. Randy Robitaille is out here tonight as well, part of an unusual record. He was the guy who broke Brian Boucher's shutout streak. 332 minutes and 1 second in 2004.
8 teams he played for in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
The Gary Suitcase Smith.
He played for 14 franchises. 14. Hence the nickname. Boys, he got stories.
Back to the point, York. For Chris Phillips. Down low, centering pass by Havlat, nobody home, and Alfredson sends Alexandre Daigle on his way.
That was Alfie Daigle and Yashin out front there, Danny.
Scores! Wow. Daigle with 4.
Are you kidding me right now? Jeez. Pierre Dorian. Get him under contract. 4 goals. Flying. How about that line, though? That was Yashin, Alfredson, and Daigle coming up the ice. Yeah, Yash went off on a change just before the goal, but that was pretty cool.
No coach behind the bench per se. I think they're coaching themselves. You want to go next? Do you want to go next? I don't know.
He hangs on to it, just takes a shot himself. Wham.
8-1. Here's Wade Rudden. Plays it around the boards for Dennis Vial. Vial showing some stick.
Oh boy, what a warrior. What an absolute warrior.
Here's Alfie in alone. Puck bounces over his stick. Finally able to come up and control it. Brendan Bell, another former member of the Ottawa 67s.
Yeah. Canadian Major Junior Defenseman of the Year. In his final year junior.
Yeah. And I went to junior high school with his dad.
We should give a shout out to Les.
Indeed.
One of Ottawa's favorite guys for sure, Les Bell.
Great drummer in junior high school.
Was he?
Well. Yeah. Great drummer. Radek Bonk.
I went to Ireland with him a couple times on golf trips. He's just one of the nicest guys you could meet.
Chris Neal almost attempting to recreate the play that Mike Hoffman, the pass that he took from Carlson a year ago. Shot right on by Boschman. Lallie makes the stop, and another long lead pass for Denny Lambert. Lambert on the backhand, can't get the shot away. Loose puck, here's Chris Neal. Stopped by Tugnut.
He just can't buy one. Neil Lambert. Who was the third guy on that line? Was it Vial? No way.
Rob Murphy.
Was it Murph out there or was it Vial? It'd be great if it was Vial.
Dennis Vial playing forward, a career defenseman.
I know.
Tugnut makes a stop. And that will end the second period. 8-1, and this is really becoming the Alexandre Daigle show. 4
goals, unbelievable. He's really firing the puck. He's having fun out here, and it's great to have him back. This whole thing has been fantastic, Dan.
Daigle with 4, Mike Fisher with 2. And it's 8-1. Let's go down to ice level. Here's Colin Zappia.
Well, thanks very much, Dan. And we're here with Senators defenseman Wade Redden. Wade, your second time back to Ottawa in this year. You came back for hometown hockey. This time you get to slip on the jersey. Yeah. You got a nice reception. What was that like?
That was great. The highlight is probably listening to Canada, looking up and seeing the Parliament, the flag at the top. It's been a exciting weekend to come back, see some guys that we haven't seen in a long time. So it's been a lot of fun.
You're part of many Senators' first time they made the playoffs for a series win, and then of course the trip to the Stanley Cup in 06-07. How close-knit was that team?
I mean, look at the guys that are here that came back that were on that group. It was guys that, lifelong friends that we made in those years. We grew up together. A great group of guys, and it's fun to come back and have these events like this.
You're taking a bit of a beating right now, 8-1 as we go into the third period.
I know.
What do you guys got to do to turn it around?
Well, we can't find the net. There's not a lot of net to look at when Tugger's in there. He's a pretty big guy, so we got to find a way to get a few and make a game of it.
Wade, thanks very much for doing this. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Wade Redden of the Ottawa Senators Alumni, his team trailing now 8-1. We'll come back with the rest of our second intermission right after this break.
Uninterrupted coverage of speeches from Ottawa's business leaders, visionaries, and social figures. Watch new episodes of Podium at its new time, Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m., exclusively on Rogers TV.
There's been some talk about this, and it's going to materialize here. Chmielewski, shot scores! Shot scores! What a shot!
67's action on Rogers TV.
My name is Bara Adi, and I'm a volunteer at Rogers TV. I love most about volunteering that I do give back to this community, and I love the experience I'm gaining. This is my major, and I really do love it. I do it with passion. As a newcomer, I wanted to feel that I fit in the community. It's made me more confident, and it's improved my communication skills.
Celebrate Ottawa is a collection of stories for, by, and about the people, places, and rich history that make Ottawa such a vibrant place to call home. Tune in Sunday evenings at 7:30.
Eight to 1 here at Parliament Hill. Team Alfredson over Team Phillips, and they'll have to turn it around to get back in the game here in the third period. Well, retired Major Jay Fako was injured in a roadside blast while on a tour of duty in Afghanistan. His recovery was aided somewhat by the love of hockey, and because of the work he does now with Soldier On, had a chance to meet Sens defenseman Mark Borowiecki, who's no stranger to giving back to those in uniform. Here's their story.
Our platoon was responsible for, winning the hearts and minds is one of the terms we used. Day-to-day jobs varied, but we always had patrols out within the area. Lots of opportunities to visit orphanages, help build schools. We could see the progress in Afghanistan from the day we got there to the day we left. Very rewarding work, it's eye-opening.
Jay Fako served in the Canadian Forces for most of his adult life. But before Fako was a soldier, he was a hockey player.
I think he probably played every single year since I met him in some league or another. Sometimes he was playing maybe 2-3 times a week, sometimes just one, depending on how many children we had at the time. And so I knew from day one we were going to be a hockey family.
Hockey was present throughout Fako's military career, even as his deployments took him far from home.
There's a lot of similarities between any sports team and the military about that camaraderie and trying to achieve one goal. There's little games that each of the different regiments and units play against each other. I remember once going to the rink and there was 2 tanks parked right beside each other, and we had to squeeze through with our hockey bags to get through into the rink. You can hear the ground shake as the tanks rolled away.
In 2004, Fako was part of Roto Zero, the first rotation of Canadian troops on the ground in Afghanistan.
Well, we knew Afghanistan was a more dangerous and hostile environment. We were the first roto for working in Kabul with the Afghan National Army and their police force. We were going down the main route, green route in Kabul, and we came to a bus stop where there was a little indent in the road where vehicles had to slow down to go over, and a suicide bomber came out and detonated about 4 feet from the vehicle.
We have sad news tonight out of Afghanistan. Corporal Jamie Murphy of Newfoundland died instantly in the attack, and 3 soldiers were wounded, including Lieutenant Jason Fako of Peterborough.
I remember jumping out of the vehicle, and I was fortunate that I remained conscious through the whole time. I remember rubbing my eye with my hand, trying to see, but I couldn't see.
Evacuated to a hospital in Germany, Fayco learned the terms of his new reality.
So blind in my right eye was really what it came down to, and I really didn't know the extent of that. I didn't know if I'd be able to keep my eye or if I'd have any vision in my eye at that point. I was very fortunate. Where shrapnel went through my neck, it was millimeters from hitting my jugular vein. If I turned my head a second, or, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
I don't know that I'll ever fully know everything he's been through, and it was a lot of learning in the early stages. What was the boundary? What is good to talk about and what is not good to talk about?
That was one of the biggest challenges, was that unknown and the kind of idea that nobody understood what I was going through. Friends and peers that were over there with me, I really enjoyed just sitting down and talking to them at my own pace. You don't have to do it in isolation. You don't have to sit in your basement and feel sorry. There are other people that can help.
In the effort to recover, physically and mentally, Fayco returned to his favorite sport.
I always said to myself, I want to be the same person I was before injury, after injury. And that meant doing the same things that I love to do.
You guys want to go 3-on-3 or 4-on-4?
I was only a month out back in the ground. I still had open wounds, and I got invited to go play a hockey game. It set me back physically a little bit, but mentally it was one of the best things I ever did is just to get back out there and try to skate and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to play still. I'll have some limitations, but that's okay. I'll still be able to do that.
In 2010, Fayco discovered Soldier On, a resource for ill and injured members of the Canadian Forces. It recognizes the role that sport can play in recovery.
We do everything from fly fishing to hiking to yoga to downhill skiing. You name it. If there's a sport or a physically recreational program out there, that we'll support it. And we've helped over 3,500 ill and injured members kind of rediscover their new normal.
Retired from service, Fayco now manages Soldier On full-time, spreading its message to other Canadian veterans. The program has been embraced by the hockey community, including allies in the NHL.
Well, Mark Borowiecki does what he does best. The one thing you know he's going to bring to your lineup every night is physicality, and if you're playing against him, you better make a mental note when he's on the ice. He finishes every single check.
Mark Borowiecki has been fantastic. Last year, he donated season tickets for every home game to Soldier On, and we had one member and a loved one or a friend join them, and they got to take in an Ottawa Senators game, and then Mark met him after the game and show him around the locker room. What a humble and really great experience that was for everybody.
What an impressive guy. I could sit down and have a beer with that guy any day of the week. He really is just a cool guy to be around. He's been through so much. He's still so positive. He's got a great family. They're just such impressive people. And, I figured anything that could help out people like Jay, I'd be on board to do.
Oh, nice ball.
I can't help but kind of chuckle sometimes when I hear coaches go on and on about going to war and going to battle. I get paid money to play a game. I get paid money to slap a rubber puck around. I'm not going to battle. I'm not going to war. Those men and women do, and I think it's important to kind of, make sure that there's a distinction between that.
The Senators have been overwhelming supporters of Soldier On. They've hosted us for a couple Soldier On Senators Alumni camps.
There you go, get it!
Which we bring about 18 ill and injured members to Ottawa, and they get to practice with the Senators alumni on the ice.
This is a really small thank you. This is a fraction of what they deserve and what they should be owed. And I want them to know that regardless of whether there's dark days or what may be going on, that there's people out there thankful for their sacrifices, even if it doesn't get expressed or vocalized every day. There's people like me, like my wife, and countless other people across this country who are thinking about them every day. So I think that's something important for them to remember.
Knowing what I've been through and how I used hockey as part of my recovery, it's been such a big part of my life. It's important for me to pass that on to my kids.
Put your arms up. Put your arms out.
The whole family plays hockey now, which is a lot of time at the rink, but it's all good. I really cherish what it brings. It's more than just a game. It's that whole social aspect. It's that support. It's just a sport, but it's more than a sport.
Well, we're back here now with former Senators goaltender Damian Rhodes. And Damian, this is quite an event. I know you haven't been back to Ottawa in a while, but what are your memories of maybe playing as a child outdoors, and what are your thoughts on this event?
This event's pretty cool. I mean, I haven't seen my old ex-teammates in 20 years, so that's the best part about it. I get to see these guys, and remember playing outside was cold all the time, so I'm still cold right now, so I'm dealing with it, but it's just good to be back in a hockey atmosphere in a hockey country.
It seems as though the guys are having a ton of fun. I'm sure a lot of stories are being shared. You were with the Senators when they were really coming to be. They made the playoffs for the first time, won their first series. What are your memories of those 3.5 seasons you were here?
I just remember the first day I got traded here, we had no coach. I'm driving to the rink with Tom Torski. He goes, yeah, we don't have a coach right now. So they hired Jock that morning. I got the honor of playing against Pittsburgh and Detroit my first 2 games. They were real good teams at the time. And I just remember Jock turned around and he said, hey, I've never missed the playoffs since I've been coaching, and we're not going to do it here. And we never did when I was here with him.
Now, you've had the benefit of standing on the bench for the first 2 periods. Your team's ahead by quite a bit now. Who's suffering a little bit out there, and maybe who's controlling the play as maybe they did in the past?
Well, I'm not watching much of it. I'm just watching the goalies play, and it looks like they're struggling when they go down to get up. So,
well, what about Tugger and that gear you used in 1999? What's it like for him playing in those small pads?
I'm watching him. I got deja vu, like I'm sitting on the bench back in 95 or 96 or 97 watching him. So it's pretty cool.
Tell us a little bit what you're up to now back home.
I'm living in Cleveland. I met a Cleveland girl. We married her, and we live in Cleveland. And I'm coaching goalies there, trying to get some future NHL goalies and do some private lessons. And so I'm still involved in the game a little bit.
Well, Damian, great to see you back here in Ottawa again. Thanks again for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Damian Rhodes, former goaltender here for the Ottawa Senators. We are getting set for the third period action. Team Alfredson ahead 8-1. We'll throw it back up to the booth to Dan Mooney.
Thanks, Colin. Damian Rhodes, only one of 11 goalies to score, but he was actually only credited with a goal.
He was, yeah. It was against New Jersey. 6-0 win for Ottawa. It was the second goal of the game. Delayed penalty. Marty Brodeur went to the bench. Lyle Olin went into the corner. Shot at the length of the ice, and it went in, and the last guy touched was Damian. And if New Jersey had scored 1 goal, he would have been the first or only goalie to be credited with a game winner. but it ended up being 6-0 Ottawa. I was there that night. I was at the rink that night. I remember that very well. And, of course, some goalies have scored since, so at that time he was in the 11th. But
lots of highlights in that second period, Liam, and go.
Yeah, well, let's see what we got here first. Well, that's how it started right there with the boys jumping on Neil. Fisher and Alfie went over on Chris Neil right away. Here's Dag with one of his 4. And he's just been flying all game. Alfie has got, 3 or 4 assists anyway.
Yep.
And there's Arvidsson right over. That's the one that got in behind the Liam and just a can of corn. It just got Arvidsson went back on the rebound and got in. And this is just a great play by Dag here. And finally, Team Phillips got on the board.
Yeah, goal by Havlat.
Oh, here we go.
Lifted one past a sprawling Ron Tugnut.
And it's snowing again, Dan.
Yeah, it stopped for a while, and now it's picked up again. And no doubt the shoveling team will not be going home early. Boschman drops that off for Denis Hamel. Senators' first captain, Laurie Boschman.
Yeah, first, and my buddy Paul O'Kane just sending me all the stats there from Brandon with all the guys over 100 PIMs on that team. Well, it was the late 70s. It was a different era, boy, I'll tell you. You have to have guts to put a sweater on.
Boschman, long pass, too far for Hamel. Picked up by Cunneyworth. Cunneyworth, nice feed to Redden up the middle. He's got Neil with him. Redden's shot stopped there by Patrick Lalime. Cunneyworth keeps it alive at the line.
Another slap shot. Neeler wasn't much of one, but still was a slap shot. Love it. I love seeing that. Still hockey. They're all young, for God's sake. Let her go. A little hitting wouldn't be bad either, maybe.
I don't think somebody's going to be dropping his shoulder here.
Yeah, look at what about Gary Roberts and Chris Draper?
That's right.
You know?
I do remember that, yep.
And who played Peacemaker? Ty Domi.
Here's a chance for Havlat. Glove saved by Laline.
It's just a great save. Marty could have maybe stepped on a little bit more, but he made a nice shot.
Jason York, broadcaster.
Yeah.
There's Phillips with the hard slapper.
Boys are letting her go. It's great. Great to see Yorkie out here. Local guy, went to St. Pius, drafted by Detroit, 129th overall, won a Calder Cup with Adirondack, 700 games in the NHL, and as you say, a broadcaster now, does a great job. Great guy, great family. Really, really well-known Ottawa family.
2 opportunities I've had to call a National Hockey League game. Jason York was in the seat to my left.
Cool.
Dag looking for 5. Passes it across. Yashin scores.
Alexei Yashin on the board with a pass from Dag.
Alexei Yashin.
With Dag just, there's a nice one over, and Yashin one times it.
Alexei Yashin, I guess, more the subject of curiosity. Back in the first Senators draft, they had the Draft Express, which was a train. You were on that trip, Liam. A train specifically dedicated to going to the draft. 1,000 Ottawa fans made the trip.
Yes, and Ron Dresky, I think, who's watching right now, was on that train with me. And the late Mike Doyle and Tom Bissonnette, we went down. I was one of the entertainers. There were 3 entertainers. Who was the singing cop?
Dominic Darcy.
Dominic Darcy. And you know who the other one was?
Yes, I do.
Alanis Morissette. Alanis Morissette and myself. Of the 3 entertainers on that train in 1992. And they drafted Alexei Yashin and went, who?
Loose puck in front, and Leclerc taking a nap. Has to get back up quickly. Norm McIver into the corner. Bonk out in front. Alfredson scores!
Man. Well, there's a guy with 440 goals in the National Hockey League. Just snapped that puppy.
Yeah, and now doesn't really play a lot of hockey at all. He's busy coaching his kids' teams now.
He played, a bunch of these guys played in the Sens Foundation event last year, and this year, this calendar year in March.
Alfie off the crossbar.
Did that not go in?
Nope.
No? Okay. Man. Great hands.
Neal. Oh, into the glove of Saline. He can't buy one.
They're putting on a show, Dan. I'm telling you right now, by alumni standards, this is pretty good. This really is.
Here's Alfie. Drops it for Arvidsson, and he's tied up by Neal. They'll be having a discussion about that play over a cold beverage later.
Well, that's all it'll be. It's going to be anything else from Arvidsson.
Coneyworth, lovely saucer pass. Score!
Upstairs where Mama keeps the 40-pounder, Danny. Let's crack a fireball, kid.
Dennis no, it's Brian Smolinski that gets the goal. And showing the scoring touch that made him
that was a great shot.
40-goal man.
Great shot. $171 games for the Sens. For Smoke, it's a pretty solid NHL career too.
So now it's 10-2.
Slowly heading towards that Chris Phillips prediction, but I don't know about Team Phillips getting 6 more goals here and whatever's left.
13:40. Now couldn't get it through Arvidsson, and now Arvidsson kind of looks for a man, finds Hamel, moves that across, and Salmoner rings it off the post.
Samener's a former captain, Tampa Bay Lightning. Some other captains out here. Lance Pitlick, former captain, University of Minnesota.
Samener rink wide into the skates of Hamel. Arvidsson breaking toward the net. Hamel across for Arvidsson and couldn't get the shot through the skates of Chris Phillips. Van Allen. Havlat tips that into the corner. Denny Lambert over there. Lambert wheels that in front. Comes back to the point for Phillips. His wrister wide of the target. And York forced to skate all the way across the ice to keep that play alive. Havlat still looks pretty good.
He looks in great shape to me. Like, you see some alumni events and disparaging anybody. Some of the guys have put a few pounds on, you know.
Yeah.
But these guys all look pretty good shape. But this is a young group by alumni standards.
Van Allen. Behind the goal for Denny Lambert. Back out for Van Allen. Havlat shot right on. And Lalim played that one off the chest protector.
You know what? Even though there's been some goals scored by Team Alfie, really, the goaltending has really been almost the story of this thing, notwithstanding the fact that one team has 8 or 9 goals.
Here's Colin Zappia once again at ice level. Colin?
Thanks, Dan. We're here with Mike Fisher. And Mike, just a few months removed from retirement. What's it like actually playing in an alumni game like this?
It's been fun. It's good to see all these guys that some of them I hadn't seen in a while. And, you know, it doesn't get much better than being on Parliament Hill, you know, with these fans and a little bit of snow here. And, yeah, it's awesome, having a blast.
You and Neil are just retiring, of course. Who's maybe one guy here that could still play?
Well, it looks like Alexander Daigle has still got a couple good years in him. I hear he might be playing tomorrow, so we'll see. He's got 4 already, maybe 6 points or something.
There's a couple of guys no longer with us that I know had a big impact on your life in Roger Nielsen and Brian Murray. Can you just tell us about the impact they had both off and on the ice for your life?
Yeah, I mean, Rogers, I was so glad I got to play for him and Brian. Those are 2 of my favorite coaches that I've had and people. And I mean, they were just both funny guys, brought some humor and treated people with respect, and they were just such good people, and they're definitely missed by a lot of people, and for sure.
You got that southern twang in your voice. Now you got a little guy. He's going to be 3 next year, early next year. He's going to be putting on the skates first and maybe strumming the guitar.
Yeah, we'll see. Thinking about getting him out. I just got him another pair of skates, so he'll be maybe ready here soon, so we'll see.
Thanks for doing this, Mike. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Mike Fisher, his team ahead big time. We'll send it back up to the booth to Dan.
Mike's son Isaiah, 3 years old now, and Mike, one of the best community guys that the Sens have ever had within their organization, and fans may remember the relationship that Mike struck up with 3-year-old Elgin Fraser, who ultimately lost his battle with cancer, but and that really affected Mike Fisher, didn't it?
It was his involvement with that family. Who will ever forget that picture of Mike with young Elgin taken at the rink, and really Fisher just joining a long list of guys here who have been pretty instrumental in the community. There's been a lot that have done a tremendous amount, some that we don't even know to the extent that they have, but that's awesome. A great job, Colin, by the way, getting those guys ringside. Colin's done an outstanding job all night for us here, and that was a great interview and great grab too, because we just don't get to see Mike. We don't get to see him in this format anymore. With a Senator sweater back here in Ottawa, very proud Canadian. And just very nice too. I thought nice touch to mention Roger Nielsen and Brian Murray, who had huge impacts here, not only in Ottawa but in the hockey community everywhere.
And Colin was pretty right on about the Tennessee twang.
Did you pick it up? I didn't quite get it. I didn't quite get it, but that's human nature, right?
Yeah.
You spend time down there, you start assimilating. Hang around the town of Richmond there for a couple of months. Mind you, the boot and the inner closed, but still, go find Terry Gomm and then good luck.
Robitaille scores! And Team Alfredson continues to fill the net.
Well, Randy finally shot the puck, Danny. About the 4th time he's been in there, and he finally let one go. And a great shot. Real solid pro career. Included time here in Ottawa, obviously, and among other teams.
Alexei Yashin tips it in, and Pascal Leclerc tries to play that one up the middle, kept alive by Yashin.
I know Smitty would love to get, Brad Smith here would love to get on the boards too. And he'd like to see him hammer. He's picking up the pace here. He's going to try, and if he can get the puck, I bet you he would try and take it coast to coast.
Well, he's got the puck now. Smith up for Vial. Vial has Murphy with him. Tip by Murphy. 2 cracks at it, and Lalime makes the stop both times.
They can't get anything by Lalime. They can't get anything by Lalime. Although it should be like about 11-5 or 6.
Here's Day. Day.
5.
He's trying to feed Yashin, but Yashin was covered by Chris Neal. Dennis Vial. Vial over the line. Neal. Slot. Can't get the shot away. One move too many, perhaps. Redden. All the way across for Cunnyworth. Fake the shot. Back to Redden. Redden has his pocket picked, but he keeps the play alive.
Alfie would have been gone.
There's Pitlick. Rolling puck. Fired that one hard and wide.
Just a bit outside.
Vial played it into the corner. Here's Chris Neal. Neal. Fisher knocked the puck away from him, but team Chris Phillips still in possession of the puck. Redden's shot. Nice pad save there by Patrick Lalime. Still wearing the same equipment that he wore all those years ago. And here's Alfie back the other way. Alfredson scores!
Unbelievable. Seriously, that's right in front of us. Danny, that was right in front of us. He had nothing.
And he found it.
Look where he shot from. You can see his mark still.
Yep.
See the replay on this. Just watch. See if the camera picks it up. Like, he had 8 inches.
And he found it. Pro's pro.
That's a great shot. That's just a great shot. I don't care what hockey you're playing.
Alfredson drops it off for Radek Bonk. Bonk toward the goal, looking for a tip in front by Fisher. It goes wide. Alfredson keeps it alive. Back to the point for Bonk. Bonk along the wall, half wall for McIver, back for Radek Bonk. Another guy that made Ottawa his home, Radek Bonk, coaching kids as Chris Neal goes back the other way into the skates of Cunnyworth, and he couldn't get the shot away.
Radek Bonk is probably one of the better characters. I know so many people now around Ottawa have probably had a chance to connect with him in his time back, but he is so funny. He just loves to play too.
And he looks like he's having a great time out there as he crashes the net. And
well, Neither checked him the whole way back.
Jason York up for Neal.
Nice pass. Again.
Lalime, solid. Arvidsson back the other way.
Yeah, the fans even are picking up on Lalime right now with the Patty chance. And he's been outstanding. He really has.
The shovel crew will be out momentarily as the snow begins to accumulate here on the brand new ice surface here on the east lawn of Parliament Hill. Arvidsson shot off the left shoulder of Pascal Leclerc. Brendan Bell.
Nice hard pass right across.
Kuba unable to handle it or make that. Denny Hamel.
The last Ottawa Senator defenseman to wear number 9 was King Clancy.
remember my grandfather telling a story when we were just kids and budding hockey players and hockey fans, and he said that he dated King Clancy's sister Sally.
Your grandfather did?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Out in front.
Oh, well.
Yanni Laukkanen leaves it there for Denny Lambert, and Pascal Leclerc is just, I think he's lost about 25 pounds in this one. He's been...
What's the old line?
Flopping in like a fish in a boat.
Seen more rubber than a dead cat in the 401.
There's Brendan Bell. All the way across. Lecition. And you talked about Brad Smith wanting to head up ice. He elected to dump it off, and now Degg goes into the corner after it. Wade Redden starts away. Redden for Vial. He's got Rob Murphy with him as well. Vial stops. Nice. Finds Smith. Shoots. Stop by Louise.
You're kidding me right now. I thought that was in.
I'm sure he did too.
You got good eyes, Dan. You've picked a few out tonight that I thought were in, but that was a great play and a great shot. Now that Smitty would score on 39 out of 40 goalies here in Ottawa, that would have gone in. That was an outstanding save.
Redden. Pass by Pitlick would be icing, but there are no rules here.
Hudson Bay rules. Play the nation's capital, Parliament Hill, baby.
91-19, hops over his stick. Yashin.
Did you ever think you'd see that again? Even in fun format, still fantastic.
Redden for Rob Murphy. Murphy. Redden on the left wing side. Slap shot hard and wide. All the way around the boards down the ice.
Good, let her go, boys. Can't be much time left. Let her go. There's Smitty, stayed out there. Come on, that's like a triple shift for him. He wants a goal so bad. I know him really well. I'm telling you right now, he wants to score so bad.
Long lead pass, broken up by Redden.
Now. It's going off now. He's been out there for like 6 minutes.
Alfredson fakes the slap shot this time because Pascal Leclerc was probably going to have another chat with him.
No doubt. Had a chat earlier. First period after Alfie absolutely wired one off his right shoulder, basically.
Fisher. That one chipped. Chris Phillips moves it up. Smolinski into the skates of Cunnyworth. Here's Brian Smolinski as the snow really starting to slow the puck down here. Bouncing puck. Lalime can't find it. They score! Sean Van Allen.
Great for Vanner.
Oh, maybe it was Nealer. I'm not sure. There it is. Look at the big smile on his face.
Awesome. Let's see the replay on this one, Danny. So Cunnyworth with the shot, bounces up. Oh yeah, it is Neal. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Good for him. What a career. What a career. You know, after McGrattan left in 08-09, I think, you know, a lot of us old school guys are trying to still figure Chris out, you know. Holding hands up after fights and stuff like that. But after McGrattan left and he was kind of on his own there, he fought all the big boys. And I just, my respect level for him grew immeasurably after that, to be honest.
Inside the final 30 seconds of what has been an absolutely fantastic evening here on the East Lawn of Parliament Hill. Alfredson. Bonk, nice play to get it to the forehand. The shot stopped by Leclerc.
If Pascal could get in on the act a little bit. Jeez. Nice save. Great play by Bonk.
Here's Havlat, Mach 9. got under. And the buzzer sounds and a standing ovation for the Ottawa Senators alumni. And boy, Liam McGuire, did they ever put on a great show.
Dan, they sure did. I'm just looking up at the Peace Tower here, just about 9:05. You see the Canadian flag at the top of that. We're at the base of this. You ever thought, in all the stuff we've been doing, and you and I have crossed paths in a lot of different ways in the last 35 years, followed each other a little bit. You ever think we'd have an opportunity to do something like this? So big thanks to Rogers for inviting me out, especially to work with you, Dan. First opportunity in a long time, and I really appreciate the invite. This has been a tremendously entertaining event.
Indeed, and it's an honor to be here under these circumstances in this setting and watching such a great show. And and full marks to all of the people that came out to witness this. It's been snowing nonstop since this game began, probably since about 5 o'clock this evening. It's been snowing heavily, but it really hasn't dampened the spirits of the people here. They're snow covered, but they don't care.
No, they don't, and it's a big crowd. It's a good crowd. Being saluted now by the players, and the fans are clapping back and saluting them back. It's this slice of Canadiana that you can't, we'll never forget. Anyone who was here will never forget it. And like I said earlier at the start of the broadcast, to get an opportunity to come down here at all. Would you say, Dan, the rink is open till February, I believe?
Indeed, yep.
I believe you can go through a process and book to get on a couple days in advance or whatever. You get to come out and skate for a couple hours if you'd like, and you should take an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, you'll rarely get an opportunity to do that. I remember with all of the celebrations that went on. I was 6 years old in 1967, but it was a huge deal for everybody to celebrate the centenary of this country. And on the 150th anniversary, boy, they pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, well, we went to Expo. Our family went down to Expo in Montreal and took it in 67. And the only thing missing was the Stanley Cup. Ended up in Toronto that year. But it was. This is pretty special. This is pretty special for sure. I have to admit, I've done a few things, and this is going to rival being up there with some of the better ones that I've done.
To a man, ear-to-ear smiles.
Yeah, look at them. There's Fisher. Like you said earlier, Dan, you touched on it earlier with the guys that are coming back that don't live here anymore. The guys that have come from overseas for this. You know what? They genuinely looked like they had a great time out there, too. The score notwithstanding. There's probably a couple of cases of beer bet on the line or something here between them or whatever, but there's a lot. There's 13 guys in this game today that were in that semifinal series in 03 against New Jersey. 13 guys. That's damn near the whole roster.
Pretty much.
That's very, very impressive. Very impressive. So kudos to all of the organizers, who put this on. You touched on that earlier, too. I mean, this is...
And that speaks volumes about their experience playing for the Senators and living in the nation's capital. They love it here. They all think, to a man, that it's a wonderful place to raise a family, and it is.
And it is, yeah, it is. I've done that. Many others have, and it's that have come here as either transplants or whatnot. And it is. It's a fantastic place to have a family grow up, especially if you get out in the rurals, Dan. That's where it's really happening.
Oh. Well, not many had an opportunity to watch the Cars Aces.
You're right, brother. That's a select view for sure.
And waves to the fans as the ceremonial, I guess, the group shot.
Group shot, yeah.
So, no doubt there will be lots more stories traded when these gentlemen get together a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some pops shared later and some more laughs and whatnot. This won't be breaking up anytime soon, I'm sure, for these guys. And then the big game tomorrow, the TD place, the big 2 points on the line. It's a 4-pointer division game, and Ottawa trying to get back in it. The Habs are scraping and clawing, trying to hang around for the proverbial crap and giggles, So that's it's going to be awesome, man.
Let's throw things down to ice level. Here's Colin Zappia.
We're here with the two team captains, Daniel Alfredson, Chris Phillips. Daniel, we'll start with you. big win for you guys. Now, what was your strategy, your draft strategy going into this?
I think there was only one pick that made the difference today, and that was picking Patty Lalim. I thought he was incredible. Saved breakaways, 2-on-1s, and penalty shots, and he was the one that made a difference for us.
Now, you rifled one early at Pascal Leclerc. He gave you a kind of a look, and he might have talked to you. What did he say to you, and what did you tell him back?
Don't do that again, he said.
Chris, tough game for you guys, but it doesn't really matter. It's all for fun. How much fun did the guys have, especially the guys that haven't been to Ottawa in a while and just chumming around with the other players?
Yeah, we had a great time. You know, the score doesn't look great, but, you know, typical in any outdoor game, you play last goal wins. And Chris Neal got the last goal, so the game winner, and Team Black got the nod.
It seemed like Team White was trying to keep Chris Neal off the board all night. Were you guys really pushing to try and get him one?
Well, anyone would have liked to get one. Yeah, they came hard. I really got to take a hard look at my my drafting thought process next time we do this. But yeah, it was nonetheless. I think everybody had a great time.
Now, I know there's been some backyard games in some of your backyards over the years. Might this continue throughout the weekend? Maybe a revenge game?
No, I think this is it. I think this is all we can handle at this age. A blast, like Chris said, and just phenomenal to see all the guys. I was saying to Fisher earlier too, watching everybody has the same stride they did, you know, when they were active, and you recognize them even without looking at the numbers. It's pretty cool to see everybody coming back like this and spending a few days together. It's awesome.
Well, guys, you put on a fantastic show for the fans. Thanks very much for doing this, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Daniel Alfredson and Chris Phillips, a big win for Teams Phillips. We'll send it back up to Dan Mooney in the booth.
Well, I don't know about Team Phillips winning it, Liam McGuire. Any final thoughts on Chris Neal's supposed winning goal?
Yeah, well, I titled one of my books Next Goal Wins. So anybody who played, we used to play Manotick in the late 70s. We played midnight hockey, and we'd be out there. It was only supposed to be for an hour. We'd play for 4, and usually how we ended it as well. Next goal wins. So usually that last goal, even if you got smoked sometimes, would be the winning goal. But no, that was really funny and glib by Chris to come up with that. That was great after getting whacked. So what was it, 12-3?
12-3 in the final, yeah.
Got the last goal, so they're taking the W. But no, you know what? It was there's two guys who were, you know, just passionate fans, great teammates, and just did an outstanding job for the fans out here today.
Alexandre Daigle gets 4, leading Team Alfredson to a 12-3 win. Let's go back down to ice level. Here's Colin.
Well, a big weekend of hockey action ahead. Of course, tomorrow we have the Scotiabank NHL 100 Classic at Lansdowne Park. That goes at 7 p.m. The Ottawa Senators and the Montreal Canadiens. Pre-game show starts on Sportsnet at 6:30. Then on Sunday, the Ottawa 67s and the Gatineau Olympics, they go outside as well at Lansdowne Park. We'll have that for you at 3 p.m. Well, we had a great night of hockey action here, and what a fantastic backdrop on Parliament Hill, the Canada 150 rink. I hope you enjoyed all the action. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Rogers TV.